She's a best-selling author, a literary agent, and a publisher who has curated thousands of query letters and projects. As experienced editors, Deborah Herman and her team of professionals have seen every possible mistake a fiction writer can make. In fact, she's identified 7 mistakes that make all the difference between a compelling novel and a dud. Deborah, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be sharing my experiences. I don't think people realize that in the earlier days of the publishing industry, we would get physical query letters and physical manuscripts. And I used to go through all of them. And after a while, and throughout time, you see the same things over and over. And I think people need to know what they are so they can move beyond them and to write books that are of the quality to be published.
One mistake you say is ineffective dialogue. What makes dialogue ineffective?
This is truly a big problem. Some people don't even bother with dialogue, but that's a different issue. When you're writing dialogue, much as in a situation when you're adding details to a scene, keep in mind that if you are writing the way people actually speak, your dialogue is going to be completely ineffective. You may want to take nuances from people's speech if it's relevant to your character. Maybe some expressions, idioms. I don't know that many people are effective in writing actual dialect. That's kind of tricky, and if you can do it, more power to you. But what people are often doing, the first mistake they make is to try to repeat conversations the way they would actually be, with all the ums, ahs, sometimes just ridiculous detail that does nothing to move your story along. The only reason to use dialogue is to reflect your character, how they're interacting, maybe aspects of their personality. The other thing that you see quite often are descriptive tags that are added to dialogue, such as, I don't like you, she glared, or something like that, where you're infusing the whole sentence with a personality or reactive state of mind and using it as the dialogue tag. Sometimes it works. Certainly people are tired of saying he said, she said, but if you're writing your dialogue effectively, you don't have to use the he said and she said each time someone is speaking, because it can become apparent by how you're writing the scene, who's speaking. And sometimes it's more effective if you're trying to show how someone is feeling. You could say, I glared at him, you were wrong, rather than you were wrong, I glared. I don't even know if that's grammatically correct, but those are the kinds of things that people glom together to try to show something different and something emotive, when it's just as effective, if not more, to separate those two things and just say, this is what I did, this is the action, and then this is what I said.
Well, that's excellent insight. If writers want to know about the rest of the 7 mistakes and whether or not they're making them, what should they do?
We've created a program that is effective in reflecting to a writer whether they're falling into these patterns that are so common. We have a professional team who has seen more than their share, and I have seen more than my share of these errors. And so what we will do is tell someone what's good about their work, and we will also tell them where they're falling into these patterns. So all you need to do is go to assessmybook.com. You'll see our program, and you can determine from that whether you'd like us to help you. We hope you'll give us a chance to do that.
Deborah, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us.